Before we open the public ledger, a necessary institutional disclosure. The following content is an independent financial documentary produced strictly for educational, historical, and informational purposes. This analysis is based entirely on public fiscal records, municipal budget sheets, and open-source economic data. It does not constitute legal, financial, or investment advice, nor does it endorse any political party or administrative faction. The viewpoints expressed herein are purely analytical, focusing on the structural mechanics of macroeconomic capital allocation. When a global sporting spectacle arrives in your metropolitan area, the local leadership always promises a massive economic windfall. They talk about tourism surges, global prestige, and millions of dollars flowing directly into the local hospitality sector. But what they hide in the complex footnotes of the hosting contract is the ultimate invoice. The international football cartels do not pay for these events. The billionaire corporate sponsors do not underwrite the structural risks. It is you, the local taxpayer. In 2026, 3 major American cities are discovering the true price of hosting the world's biggest tournament. The financial ledger tells a completely different story from the public relations campaign. This is not just a sporting event, it is a highly engineered legal mechanism for financial extraction. Welcome to the autopsy of the World Cup bill. Let us look past the stadium lights and audit the actual numbers that will drain public treasuries for decades to come. Chapter 1. New York and New Jersey, MetLife Stadium. To host the final matches of this global tournament, the venue must strictly comply with a massive book of spatial mandates dictated by the governing body. The issue is purely structural. The existing stadium design was built for American football, meaning the pitch perimeter is simply too narrow for international soccer standards. To solve this minor technical alignment, the stadium cannot just repaint the lines. The governing body requires the physical removal of thousands of perfectly functional, revenue-generating seats in the lower bowl. This is not a simple renovation. It is a massive engineering demolition. Infrastructure walls must be pushed back, concrete structures must be retrofitted, and entire seating sections must be destroyed just to widen the grass turf for a handful of matches. After the tournament ends, the stadium will have to spend even more capital to rebuild those exact same seats. The total budget for this temporary physical modification runs into the tens of millions of dollars. And who signs the check? The public infrastructure funds managed by the local transit and sports authorities. It is a textbook case of public capital being liquidated to serve a private corporate entity for less than 30 days, leaving the local municipality with the long-term structural liability. Chapter 2. Moving west to Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium, a $5 billion private marble celebrated as the most advanced arena in the world. Because it was built with private money, one would assume the public treasury is safe. That assumption is entirely false. Under the binding terms of the host city agreement, the international organizers demand an absolute monopoly over all commercial operations inside the venue. 100% of all ticket sales, luxury suite revenues, concessions, and merchandise sales go directly into the offshore ledger of the global cartel, completely tax-free. The local city council agreed to waive municipal entertainment taxes, wiping out millions in potential public recovery. Meanwhile, the real financial burden is externalized outside the stadium gates. Who funds the unprecedented logistics, the thousands of law enforcement hours, the emergency medical services, and the immediate transit upgrades needed to move hundreds of thousands of international visitors? The city's general fund. Local police, public works, and emergency infrastructure are stretched to their absolute limits, paid for by municipal tax dollars that are actively diverted from local schools and public housing maintenance. The corporate structure is brilliant in its cruelty. The public absorbs 100% of the structural risk, operational costs, and liabilities, while the global network shields and privatizes the entire economic yield. Chapter 3. Let us audit Dallas, AT&T Stadium, a cathedral of modern entertainment. To maximize the value of their official partners, the international organizers enforce a draconian policy known as the Commercial Clean Zone. This mandate establishes a strict 1-kilometer exclusion radius surrounding the entire stadium complex. Within this geographic boundary, the rule of law is effectively suspended in favor of corporate policy. Local diners, family-owned shops, independent parking operators, and neighborhood businesses, the exact entities that have anchored the community and paid local taxes for decades, are legally prohibited from operating, advertising, or selling any goods unless they pay an extortionate licensing fee to the global cartel. If a local restaurant has a sign that conflicts with an official corporate sponsor, they are forced to tear it down or face massive legal penalties. Only official multinational sponsors are permitted to extract wealth inside this financial perimeter. The vibrant local economy is temporarily erased by municipal decree, replaced by a highly clinical, hyper-efficient corporate monopoly designed to ensure that not a single dollar leaks into the pockets of the community that actually built the infrastructure. This is the permanent, recurring blueprint of modern sports mega-economics. Host cities do not win. They underwrite the structural deficit of global entertainment cartels. The promised tourism surge is a statistical illusion, as regular business travelers avoid the chaos, and the money spent by visitors bypasses the local economy entirely, flowing straight into international corporate accounts. When the flags are packed away and the stadium lights are turned off, the local community is left with a massive mountain of operational debt and a hollowed-out public ledger. This is how the modern financial architecture works. It socializes the costs of the elite while privatizing the profits of the few. The playbook is identical across continents, whether it is the legacy of the London 2012 Olympics or the looming shadow of the 2026 tournament in the United States. If you want to understand how deep this institutional trap truly goes, and how the global economy has perfected this extraction machine, click on our previous forensic audit on your screen right now. Welcome to the Ledger. Subscribe to Inside Hayes' Mind, turn on notifications, and look at the raw numbers they do not want you to audit.